Yet another left-wing couple visits dangerous country to spread love, disappears. This was a Canadian, Edith Blaise, and her Italian boyfriend, Luca Toccato, or Totecho, were traveling in West African country of Burkina Faso when all communications with their families abruptly ceased on December 15th. It's thought the pair were kidnapped, although their whereabouts remain unknown. We are live on the Thursday, January 10th edition of the Alex Jones Show. And ladies and gentlemen, it has happened again. Another left-wing couple preaching love, preaching acceptance, preaching tolerance has visited a dangerous country to spread those utopian ideals, and they've disappeared, likely abducted, maybe tragically dead. Headline: yet another left-wing couple visits dangerous country to spread love, disappears. This was a Canadian, Edith Blaise, and her Italian boyfriend, Luca Toccato, or Totecho, were traveling in West African country of Burkina Faso when all communications with their families abruptly ceased on December 15th. It's thought the pair were kidnapped, although their whereabouts remain unknown. The woman, Edith Blaise, had apparently posted on Facebook. Now, this is unconfirmed, but it looks like her picture. She's holding up a sign in Arabic with Iraq written on it on a piece of cardboard. If you just scroll down a bit, it's right there on Facebook. Now, it's unknown whether she wrote these words, but it looks like her picture. People are saying this is her. Again, unconfirmed. But it says, "Hitchhiking Iraq. I just wanted to share that there is love and warmth everywhere in the world. You just need the wisdom and courage to reach out and grasp it. Open your minds and hearts. We are the people showing others that the world is a place in which solo females can travel to its far corners. Happy 2019. Let's hit the road." Well, she did that. She traveled to Burkina Faso. She traveled to Mali, despite the area being riddled with terrorists and violent criminals, despite Canadian government travel advisories warning against or wanting to avoid all unnecessary travel to the country of both Mali and certain areas of Burkina Faso. And now she's disappeared. No contact with her family for nearly a month now. They were on their way to the capital of Burkina Faso, despite the fact that 6 Canadians were killed there by Islamic jihadists who stormed a hotel during a 2016 terror attack. Now, this article features a quote from Gar Pardy, who was a former Director General of the Consular Affairs and served as an ambassador to multiple countries. He said, quote, "Canada's travel advisory for Burkina Faso is about as explicit as you can make these things. It's a very troubled country. This is a country where terrorists and violent criminals will just randomly shoot at vehicles to carry out carjackings, to carry out violent attacks. Quote, armed criminals don't hesitate to shoot at vehicles to stop and rob their occupants. Such incidents can happen day or night on both main and secondary roads." That's from Global Affairs Canada, the group that puts out the travel advisories. So you have yet another left-wing couple, by all accounts. And other reports state that Blaise was intending to travel to Togo, where she planned to volunteer with an organization attempting to reforest parts of Togo. So this is obviously an environmentalist. She's got dreadlocks. I think it's safe to say she looks pretty liberal. And if this Facebook post is true, if it's her words, she's holding up a sign in Arabic, basically talking about love and acceptance, and the fact that females on their own, even though she wasn't even on her own, she was with a boyfriend, can travel solo to far corners of the world. This post was made after the Islamic jihadist slaughter and beheading of 2 female Scandinavian tourists who, of course, traveled to Morocco to hike in the mountains of Morocco. As some of you may have seen the horrific video, were basically raped and beheaded by ISIS supporters. Now, if these were one-off isolated cases, it wouldn't be a story. They're not one-off isolated cases. We had the other case of the left-wing couple who cycled through the Middle East, through the Balkans. They, again, preached love. They preached that evil does not exist in the world, and the conception that other cultures are more dangerous, more bigoted, less tolerant than our own, That was just a product of our own bigotry, our own Western imperialism, that we expect these countries to be dangerous. They're not really dangerous. Everybody's friendly. Everybody just wants to spread love. Absolute BS, and people are dying over and over again because of these utopian delusions that the world is just full of nice people who do not want to do you harm. And because of this view that there aren't some countries which are more safe than others, that there aren't some cultures which are better than others, when there are. And again, this goes to the border point. We have now breaking news story which says that the White House counsel's office is prepping legal justification for a national emergency where Trump might declare the national emergency to build the wall. We have people like Ana Navarro on CNN as guests talk about American citizens murdered by illegal aliens. She's literally filing her nails during this live interview, showing complete disinterest. This is why we have borders, to keep out dangerous, violent criminals, to keep out dangerous terrorists. Yet the left has this utopian idea that everybody's accepting and embracing and tolerant and just wants to spread love like them. No, it's complete BS. I put out a video about this called The Tragedy of Cultural Relativism on Christmas Eve. It's got nearly 1 million views on Facebook. I go through every single example, not just the one today that we're talking about, not just the 2 Scandinavian female tourists in Morocco raped and beheaded, but people like Pippa Bacca, the Italian woman, who again hitchhiked across all these dangerous countries, said she was doing so to, quote, send a message of peace and marriage between different peoples and nations. Again, another left-wing activist, raped, strangled, murdered. I went through a whole litany, a whole list of these people. Ellen Krantz, a Swedish supporter of multiculturalism and a strong advocate of mass immigration. She literally posted on a Facebook page called We Like Diversity. What happened to her? Raped and killed by an Ethiopian immigrant and dumped in a forest. She didn't even have to leave Sweden for that to happen to her. 20-year-old Eli Warren, a left-wing environmentalist, she visited Mozambique for the pumping nightlife, for the experience of all these great, wonderful, eclectic, different cultures. She went there to, quote, help others less fortunate than herself, raped, murdered, dumped in a toilet block. Again, it goes on and on and on. In that one video, I think I point to about 8 different examples. Of course, the cyclists, which I mentioned before, they literally put out blogs saying that evil doesn't exist in the world. Our view that evil exists in these more dangerous parts of the world is just a product of our own imperialist bigotry. They were cycling in Tajikistan. ISIS terrorists mowed them down in vehicles and stabbed them to death. There are literally dozens and dozens of these cases. I probably covered about 10 or 12 in the video, and there's a new one out just today. Again, this is why we have borders, to keep out these kind of dangerous, violent criminals, not to keep out legal immigrants, to keep out illegal immigrants and protect our own people. Again, why do you lock your door at night? It's not because you hate the people outside, it's because you love the people inside. But they travel to these foreign countries with these utopian delusions. They go to the worst S-holes imaginable because then they think they can come back, and that's a form of virtue signaling to say that they went to these remote, horrific places where poverty is widespread, where violent crime is widespread, because they want to get some kind of reflection and say, oh, look at me, I'm so open, so tolerant. I can go to these places and love them. Nothing happens to me. It's great. Everyone's peaceful, loving. What happens? In many cases, tragically raped and killed. When are they going to learn? We'll be back with Owen Schroyer, Infowars.com. Don't go away.
CBD-rich hemp oil is totally organic, all natural, something God gave us, and it doesn't have THC in it, and it's totally legal in all 50 states. This is where everybody's going. This is what your body actually needs. There are so many different spectrums of this natural oil that comes from hemp, now legal and lawful in all 50 states, that you need to just go research it for yourself. Now, obviously, there's been a giant marijuana legalization craze that Soros has funded the last 10 years. I've not been involved in that. It's a huge bubble. This is not marijuana. There are hundreds of varieties of hemp. This is industrial hemp that has all the good attributes, but not the bad attributes that turn people into potheads in their basements, picking and eating their boogers. This is the good CBD from the organic hemp oil. And there are so many great products that you simply need to go to InfoWarsStore.com and link over to WashingtonsReserve.com, or simply go to WashingtonsReserve.com yourself to look at all the products, to read about the history, and to see the facts for yourself. So 360 win. There are different CBD rich hemp oil extractions for many, many, many different uses. You owe it to yourself to go look at this for yourself, and to also understand it helps fund the InfoWar. People wonder why I haven't gotten into CBD oil. Well, because some of the stuff's got problems, some of it can get you high, and some of it can get you arrested. This is not that. Legal in all 50 states. It's from hemp, not marijuana. It's totally legal. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we can ship to all 50 states right now from the great website, WashingtonsReserve.com.